All right, shalom, shalom. Shalom, just give me a moment. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in 1/3. And Lord's, this lesson will be edifying and exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. And the Wada, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, forgive me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, for ye are graves which appear not. All right. And pretty much I was just in Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, and led me to a few other things. And I found it to be edifying for the time that we are in. All right. Especially now with quote unquote prominent leaders. All right, we're going to use those words. Okay, prominent teachers, leaders, pastors, and shepherds. Okay, in the nation of Israel, that ultimately are leading our people astray. And these are why warnings go out. Okay, and Yahweh Shai even gave these warnings. This is why you see many times he says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees." All right, woe unto you, hypocrites. So you have to understand that even in the midst of what you're involved in. Understanding now you're an Israelite, that you still have to keep your guard up. You have to keep your spiritual guard up. Now, when I was reading Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, the first thing that came to mind was this. Okay, this scene right here. All right, this is just what popped in my head. All right, this is the sheep. Okay, and they're following a man. You know, he may look the part. Look, he's got the Jephthah beard. Okay, and they followed him. And then he ended up running all the way here and then turning around. And then the people, they were left, they were lost. They said, now where do we go? See? So you have to be careful who you're following. You actually have to be careful who you're following. But check this out. This is Luke 11. This is Luke 11:44. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are as graves which appear not. Now, the reason why I was checking the commentary. The reason why they say there are graves that appear not, because they said a part of the custom. All right, because we're not supposed to touch a grave site. All right, just like how you're not supposed to touch a dead body. All right here, Numbers 19:16, and whosoever touches one that is slain with a sword in the open field, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. So right here, all right, according to our customs, which makes me think of the movie Boys in the Hood, he said, hey, y'all want to see a dead? No, you shouldn't want to see a dead body. But what Yahweh Shai is letting us know, that you have men that are teaching that are actually unclean as a grave, and them being a grave, meaning they are of death. Now, remember, in Deuteronomy, it says, choose life or death. Okay. Right here. Let's go to this. Yep. Deuteronomy 30:19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, right? That I have set before you life and death. So you have to understand that life and death is set before us right now. And this is very serious, because we're entering Jacob's trouble. And, not every Israelite's teaching is the same. And not every Israelite of the Israelites teaching is the same. This is why the Lord said, I will make them as wine bottles, and they shall bang into one another with drunkenness. Okay, these guys have different breakdowns, different philosophies, different ideologies. Okay, but they all can come together to say Kwam Yasharallah and march and shalom and have unity camps, but they all got different doctrines. They all got different doctrines, and it's actually on my spirit to pull that up. So let's go to Jeremiah. I got another one in Jeremiah. All right, but let's go to Jeremiah. I believe it's 13. Just give me a minute. All right, let me check this out. I got my scriptures. All right, I believe it's Jeremiah. Yep, I got it right here. Jeremiah 13:12. So let's check this out real quick. And if you want to understand further, you know, why the Spirit's getting on wicked Israelites, you know, read the book of Jeremiah, man. When you read the book of Jeremiah and you read before Nebuchadnezzar came into Jerusalem, and you see all the wickedness that the Lord was speaking out against them. Okay, just like now, there's a reason why the Holy Spirit is speaking out against Jake now in these times. Okay, Jeremiah 13:12. Therefore, thou shalt speak unto them this word. Thus saith the Lord power of Yasharallah, every bottle shall be filled with wine, and they shall say unto thee, do we not certainly know that every bottle shall be filled with wine? Then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will fill all the inhabitants of this land, even the kings, see, leaders, shepherds, okay, because when you go into it, a king would be now equated to a shepherd, all right, or ungodly leader, okay. It says kings that sit upon David's throne, and the priests and the prophets and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with drunkenness. See, so right here the Lord said he's filling all them up with drunkenness, okay. And when you deal with somebody who's drunk, in actuality they're stupid. There's a difference between being buzzed, all right, as the term, or some say tipsy, but then when you're completely drunk, you know, you can't talk to the person, you can't reason with them, all right. They do things that they normally wouldn't do sober, all right. So the Lord even said that these guys are filled with drunkenness. They're banging the staff. They're drunk, okay. That's right, they're drunk. When they make those statements, that's a drunk person talking. Okay, over here, we don't want you to be drunk. We want you to be sober in the mind, sober in the spirit. We don't want you to be drunk with Sister Sarah Tea Party. All right, we don't want you to be drunk with spelling bees with the prophets. We don't want you to be drunk with shout out, you know, Tuesdays, you know, Teat Zeets Tuesday. None of that. Okay, over here, you're gonna be sober. You're gonna get the straight truth, as Elder Pastor Har said. Straight no chaser, raw like sushi. All right. But as you see, the Lord said that they would be filled with drunkenness, not literally just drunken with wine. Now, can they be? Yeah, but there's a spiritual aspect to it. Think about it. Think about a time when you drank too much and you were drunk. You weren't yourself. So that's what we're seeing right now. These guys, they're not themselves. All right. They're drunken in marriage. They're drunken with vain philosophy. They're drunken with Babylon. All right. And it says, and I will dash them one against another, even fathers and the sons together. Now you see them dashing one another with what? Their doctrine, bumping it into it. Oh, you didn't IUIC and ISBK dash together on that corner, right? Didn't they dash together? So you're seeing it. Okay. It says, saith the Lord, I will not pity nor spare nor have mercy, but destroy them. And that brings me to my next point. It also says that the Lord is going to destroy the false prophets by what they falsely prophesize and those that hear them. Okay. So this is why the warning's going out, because these men that you're following are soon going to be destroyed. And if you keep following them, you're going to receive the same judgment and recompense that they are going to receive. If a man says there will be no Jacob's trouble, the Lord said, then by Jacob's trouble, he will be judged. If a man says there is no MOTB, then by the MOTB will he be destroyed. So on and so on. If he says there's no sword or no famine, then that's how he's going to be destroyed. Okay. And let's actually grab that. By sword and, just getting what's coming to mind. By sword and famine shall that false prophet be destroyed. Yep, Jeremiah 14. Okay, next chapter. Jeremiah 14, and what was it? 14? Let me see. Yep. This is Jeremiah 14. Check this out. I said, man, this is cold. Okay. I said, no, that makes sense why Elder Pastor Har always says you're gonna get it, because you're saying it's not it. And then when I read this, I was like, wow, that's exactly what it's gonna be. So let's read this really, really quick. All right. Jeremiah 14:13. Then said I, Lord power, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, right? This is what's going on right now. The same narrative that the prophet Jeremiah dealt with is what we are dealing with right now, okay? We're telling you one thing, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, okay? A lot of you brothers and sisters are already aware of this, but we have to understand that there's new brothers and new sisters that are being awakened, okay? Ultimately, the elect. So we are addressing these things now so that we can have it, okay? And it says, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see sword. What sword? Jacob's trouble. No, Jacob's trouble. Come on, quickly. I remember that video. All right, I remember that video. And it says, neither shall ye have famine. Wait a minute, but Yahushua said, famine, pestilence, earthquake, these are the signs. So if they're saying that that's not going to happen, that's an anti. That's when you can say Christ, when you say anti-Christ, all right? Anti-Mashiach. It says, but I will give you assured peace in this place. So right here, this is a narrative that Israelites dealt with in the past was soothsayers, okay? False prophets, men telling you sweet little lies. This is why Yahushua said, ye are as graves. And I'm going to go back to this, all right? But we're building up why? Because you got to understand, Yahushua is in the Roman Empire. We're going back to the literal Babylonian Empire, even before Nebuchadnezzar came in. And mind you, the Assyrian captivity already took place. So you can see what's going on here. So just like before Nebuchadnezzar actually came in and destroyed, right now, this message is being sent out before Jacob's trouble comes and Esau comes in worse than Nebuchadnezzar. See? So it says, but this is what they're telling you. But I will give you assured peace in this place. No. It says through much tribulation. See, you're following Yahushua through truth. You're following graves through lies. Remember, choose you this day, life or death. I don't even know if I finished that. Choose you this day, life or death. Did I even finish that? I didn't even finish that. So let me finish this real quick. I don't got nothing written down, okay? Deuteronomy 30:19. I got to finish it. And it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, prophets, false prophets, truth, lies, blessing, cursing. Therefore, choose life. Just like when Yahushua was up there and they had what was his name? Barnabas or Barzabas. And they chose who? They chose Lil Wayne. All right. Right. Instead of choosing Yahushua, they chose Babylon. Instead of choosing Yahushua, they chose Christ. Instead of choosing Yahushua, they chose the law. Instead of choosing Yahushua, they chose fringes. Instead of choosing Yahushua, they chose lies. It says that both thou and thy seed may live. That's why I said, let his blood be upon us and our children. It says that thou mayest love Yahweh Bashem Shai thy God, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life. See? So this is what it's about at the end of the day. But Jake isn't. Jake is cleaving to who? False prophets. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. But that what's happening right now is also a division, because those that are choosing the false prophets are ultimately not choosing the Lord because they don't know Yahushua's voice. Okay. So we're definitely living in beautiful times, and we're seeing it. You're actually seeing guys, okay, blatantly show you that they're off right now. Okay. This is the time where, because I was actually thinking about it. And I said, when you look at Christians, if they really sincerely were for truth's sake, then they would have to admit, not every BHI, right? Not every Hebrew Israelite teaching is wicked, but there are wicked teachers in the midst of that, just like they would about Christianity. But do they do that? No. See, so they're not even for your betterment. We are in the time where you have to understand that you're seeking your own salvation with the knowledge and wisdom that you're following, the understanding that you're getting, the teachings, the breakdowns. This is how you're seeking your salvation. So who you are following is determining if you're going to be delivered ultimately, even though we know it's predestination. Now let's keep going. It says, then the Lord said unto me, this is what he said to Jeremiah, The prophets prophesied lies in my name. Don't they do that? Don't they do that though? Don't they do that? All right. It says, I sent them not. Matthew 7:21. I never knew you. So there's men out here that Yahweh Bashim Shai is not dealing with. Remember, Satan entered Judas. So you have men that have Satan in them that are teaching, debating, cutting, breaking scriptures down. Satan can do that too. Read Matthew 4. Did not Satan use scriptures against Yahweh Shai? Does not Esau use the scriptures? So cannot Satan be entered into certain Israelites teaching you, get my merch, right? Right? It says, the prophets prophesied lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesied unto you a false vision and divination and a thing of naught. So these guys are actually they're actually selling you up Schitt's Creek. They're actually selling you up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. This is the first thing I thought about with the scene where they're following Forrest, right? Wandering in the wilderness, following Forrest wherever he went. He drove their ass all the way out to the desert. Don't the scriptures say that? Didn't Yahweh Shai said, if they say I'm in the desert, don't go? See, look, now I'm getting spiritual. It's in Matthew 24. If they say he's in the desert. Yep, Matthew 24:26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he's in the desert. And what show came out? Okay. What show came out where you had this bugged out Ishmaelite and he was taking people all throughout the world. See, which this is a Ishmaelite demon. Okay. But this is what Yahweh Shai warned us about. All right. Don't be following if they say, I'm in the desert. Don't go to the desert. Okay. We know it says Babylon will be delivered. All right. So if they start talking all this weird, come here at this certain time, and no. See, we're in the time where you need to tap into what did Yahweh Shai say? Shit, even Christians, they have a famous saying, what would Jesus do? What would he do? Well, what would Yahweh Shai want us to do? We have the scriptures. So if you ever find yourself in a crossroad, okay, rely on the scriptures, okay? For the things written aforetime are written for our learning, right? By the comfort of scriptures, we have hope. It says, behold, he is in the desert. Go not forth. Behold, he is in a secret chamber. Look, come here, right? All that weird. No. Behold, he is in a secret chamber. Believe it not. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Okay. Don't believe what they're talking about. This is the time we're in. All right. Jeremiah 14. And 14, and it says, and the deceit of their heart, therefore thus saith Yahweh Bashim Shai concerning the prophets, the teachers, the wicked shepherds, the kings, the generals, the chiefs, right? Concerning all these guys, concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, what do they say? How the hell? I don't even remember how they say it. It's like Yahweh. I don't even know how to say it. I'm not even going to attempt it, but you guys know. It says that prophesy in my name, and they do that. They say his name's Christ too. So they say that too. And I sent them not, yet they say sword and famine shall not be in this land, right? Don't they say that? Haven't you heard men say there will be no Jacob's trouble? Or even not even mentioning famines, right? So if they're not even speaking about famine, in actuality, they're not even saying the famine's coming. So they're not warning, okay? You've had men, even in the Acts, I think it was Argibus. I always mispronounce his name, but he rose up. He told that there was going to be a dearth. He told Paul that he was going to get bound. So you had men in the past that their only account recorded is them prophesying. But then you have men that have countless videos and there is no prophesying. So you see it. It says sword and famine shall not be in this land. And they tell you sword and famine is not going to be in this land by doing what? Spelling bees. See, don't make me show some things. That's sometimes, if you haven't seen it, you can look it up. Look up IUIC spelling bee. Okay. And it says, look at this. But since they're pushing that narrative, they're pushing that motive, it says, by sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. See? So if you tell me that the mark ain't the mark, you're going to get the mark. If you ain't telling me about the great destruction and war, you're going to fall by that. If you're telling me there ain't no famine, you're going to fall by that. If you're telling me there's no Jacob's trouble, you're going to fall by that. See how cold the Lord is? That's scary, okay? So what you say ain't going to happen, the Lord is going to show you that you're a false prophet by having it happen to you. It says, and look at this, here's the congregation. This is what I wanted. So all you that listen to them, and the people, the Israelite people to whom they prophesize. So all you that listen, okay, he said that. Okay, whew, we're good. We could continue the fashion show, right? It says, and the people to whom they prophesize shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them. You see that? So here it is. We see that the Lord is saying these false prophets, not only is the Lord going to judge them with what they're falsely prophesying and their congregation. It's a scary thing. Now let's go back to Luke 11:44. So now you see why it says, woe unto you scribes, because you're writing something wrong. Woe to you Pharisees, because you're teaching something wrong. Hypocrites, you say one thing and you do another. For ye are as graves which appear not, meaning you don't look like you're death. You don't look like you're someone I shouldn't. You look like someone I should be following. I should be going to. You don't look like you're unclean, because a grave is unclean. A dead body is unclean. So what's happening is Yahushua is saying that even though you're graves, there are people of my people that have no idea that you are death walking. That's why Yahushua said in Matthew 13, blessed are your eyes for they see. And since I said that, but the coldest part about it all is it's the Lord that's allowing us to see. Deuteronomy 29, check this out. Check this out. This is Deuteronomy 29 and 4. We can start at 1. It's going into about us in the wilderness. It says, yet the Lord hath not given you a heart to perceive and eyes to see and ears to hear unto this day. So right here is a count showing you why we walked 40 years in the wilderness, because the Lord didn't open our eyes. So if we can see now, hey, best believe if we can see now, then there's a spirit of urgency that we want to stay awake to see. I don't want to not have eyes not to see. Okay, it's a very scary thing. All right. So going back, it says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are as graves which appear not, and the men that walk over them are not aware of them. So you know how many Israelites that don't have the eyes to see that you are as graves, meaning unclean, and they walk over, shalom, right? You know, they do all that, right? Look at this. It says, for ye are like graves which are not seen, and the Israelite men, women, and children who walk over them are not aware of them. These religious leaders loved giving the impression that they were ever so spiritual, but they actually defiled everyone they came in contact with. They defiled everyone they came in contact with by their rhetoric, their ideology, their false prophesying, their gatherings, their ceremonies. Didn't the Lord say that your assemblies are like a smoke in my nose? So you are defiled when you go to their Passovers, their Sabbath services, their teachings. Okay, you're actually defiling yourself with the synagogue of Satan, and you are unclean. It says, walking over a grave ceremonially defiled Yahweh, a Israelite person, even if they didn't know it was there. See? So you've had brothers and sisters that were defiled with these other camps, and then when they finally left, then they talk like, oh my God, I had no idea. Like, good point. I didn't know I was defiled in Christianity. So I thank Yahweh Shai for waking me up. And then it says, we read this law. according to Numbers 19:16, which we read, everyone who touched a grave was ceremonially unclean for 7 days. So you're unclean for a complete amount of days. And if you're of the elect, then after that complete amount of days, the Lord will bring you out of that uncleanness and then wash you. Psalms, I haven't brought this out in a while. Psalms 119 and 9, and cleanse you. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to the word. And the first thing that came to my mind, taking heed to the doctrine. Let's see what this word means. Dabar, I believe that means speak. Yep, speech. So you become clean by the speech of Yahweh Bashim Shai, by the men that he has set up. See? So this is a very serious thing, because you can say, oh man, I don't know where to go. I mean, they're Hebrew Israelites, and I'm Hebrew. They teaching me, my God and law, and yeah, that sounds good, because they appear not as graves. This is why you need to be tapped into Yahweh Bashim Shai, not man. Okay, don't be following the man. Follow the Lord. 1 Corinthians 11:1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. Right? So if who you're following is not leading you closer to Yahweh Bashim Shai, then you shouldn't be following them. Okay? When you're just going to class, or when you turn a video on and it's a concert, it's a fashion show, it's Deuteronomy 28 again, like that ain't it. Okay, so now you brothers and sisters, you're aware who you're following, and you believe through faith you're following Yahweh Shai. Okay, and you have to pray. You honestly have to pray, because there's a lot of deceivers out here. All right, now it says everyone who touched a grave was ceremonially unclean for 7 days. For this reason, the Israelites sought to mark graves clearly, usually using whitewash, so everyone would know where they were and would avoid them. Where they were and would avoid them. Romans 16. Where they were, mark them and avoid those graves. Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them, scorpeo, scope them out, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine, which ye have learned, and avoid them. So you are now given an insight where the graves are, so you don't step and defile yourself with that grave. Okay, so these men are graves. They're death. They're literally death. Okay, this is no better. This is no better than 2/3. Yeah, remember that picture? Bloods and Crips falling into the let's see, ground. It should be grave. Yep, right here. Is it? That's not right here. See, right here. This is you Israelites out there, okay, that have turned away from this lifestyle. You've turned back into it through the teachings and the lifestyle that your graves are teaching you. See, there was a video that came out where they were just shooting each other and falling in. Well, there should be a new one with Jake with purple on and black on with fringes, and they're just doing the same thing. Okay, now it went from blue and red to black and purple. Am I lying? That's kind of pretty much the main colors with these other guys is purple, right? People have come up, they said, are you with the purple guys? See? Or all black. And they're doing the same thing, just falling right in. All right? Falling right in. Yelling Christ as they fall down. See? So they're unclean. This is why we got to mark them and then avoid them. All right? Now that I got that out the way, let's read this real quick. This is Jeremiah 23:1. Woe be to the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastor, saith the Lord, and they scatter you in your mind. We had one time, we had a sister, she had came to our camp. She was driving by with her husband, and she came up to our camp to start asking questions, and then the Spirit brought out how her husband was in the car, but other Israelite teachers were telling her that she needed to leave that man. And what camp you think that was? All right, the purple guys. So that's adultery right there for one. First Corinthians says, the unbelieving husband shall be sanctified by the believing wife, and vice versa, the believing husband and the unbelieving wife, if she be pleased to dwell with. So right there shows you that they are not teaching through the Holy Spirit. And she actually started crying. She actually started crying because she was conflicted. I have the video, it's up. All right. Yahweh Shem Shai is my witness. But she started crying because she said she knew in her heart that she wasn't supposed to leave that man. And that was his spirit, because no, she's not. That's adultery. Even Yahweh Shai say, you put a woman away, you causing her to commit adultery. And that's what they're doing. And that's what these guys do. They get silly women laden with iniquity and creeping in their houses, It says, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings. You want to say there's no famine, there's no sword? I'm going to visit you by famine and sword. See? And I always like to say, the guys that push law on our people, well, what are you going to do when Rev 2 and 10 comes to pass and we're cast into prison, and then we have to put on whatever clothing they give us and it's mixed fabric, but you've been living by the law, and then a demon of judgment comes upon you, and then you get caught without fringes on, you're wearing mixed fabric, just things of that nature. So you have to honestly, be aware of your doings in the times now, because you're going to answer for these things. It says, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them, and I will bring them again to their fold. So the Lord's going to do this, not us, okay? And they shall be fruitful and increase the kingdom. Check this out. Look what's going on. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, right? Yahushua said, feed my lambs. This is why in John 10, the parable of the good shepherd, okay? When you read about Yahushua and what he's saying, a lot of things that he brings parables are accounts that the Lord told other prophets before, okay? He's given a parable about a good shepherd. Here's scriptures about wicked shepherds. The Lord talked about new wine, and then we just read in Jeremiah 14 how they were filled drunkenness with that old wine. So you can see the parallels going on, And it says, and I will set up shepherds. And what's a shepherd do? It leads the flock. See? So, hey, the Lord ain't setting up no Forrest Gumps, okay? The Lord ain't giving you no Forrest Gumps. Look, Bumblebee Tuna, the Bubble Gump, the shrimp, he was unclean. All right, this guy was unclean, and they all found, where do we go now? Look at Jake with the afro. Where do we go now? That's what's going to be like. It's going to come a point, okay? It's going to come a point where you're going to have Israelites follow these guys, and you're going to reach the end of the road, all right? You seen that with the ICJ, JCB, whatever they're called, okay? You're going to see that more and more. People were following them for years and they fell away. Follow them for years and they, the other Hebrew Israelite groups in the 90s, followed them for years and then fell away. Oh, and Rakah from the GOCC, y'all followed him all the way to Egypt and he left their ass. Took their passports and left their ass, and ain't nobody talking about that, And it says, and I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking. Thus saith Yahweh Shem Shai. See that? See that? They ain't going to be lacking. And why? Jeremiah 6 and 14, I believe. Because with these other guys, let me see. Just give me a moment. Yep. Because with these other guys, you're not fully healed. Jeremiah 6 and 14, they, we want to start right here. Yeah. It says, they have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people, slightly saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. See? So they've slightly healed you. This is why Yahushai's sheep are going to come out of there. Okay. John 10 and 5, and a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. See that? So we're in a time where Yahushua sheep is going to come up out of all that. So this is why, humbly speaking through the Spirit, the lessons are coming out of edification, exhorting, warning, saying, watch out. There are graves out here. And we're even telling you, blatantly, there's graves out here. Be aware of them. Watch what table you're eating from. Watch who you're following. Okay. And these messages have been being sent. The message has been being sent. The warnings have gone out. And we're just now in the time where the Lord is starting to judge at his house. Don't it say judgment must begin at my house, in my sanctuary? So we're seeing it. We're actually witnessing it. All right. So, hey, we're just in the times where you got to lock in before you get locked out. So I just want to say, call Allah Yimla, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I do pray that Yahushai's lambs, Yahushai's sheep was fed, warned, and exhorted. Okay. And we truly are in these times. And you should be grateful, thankful, and continue to be hopeful because, in all actuality, humbly speaking, through faith and hope, we are in a good place. Okay. We're in a good place where we don't feel we need to be paranoid or what if, but warnings are going out and the truth has been laid. Okay. You see what's going on in the news, current events, and then look what other people are saying and what they're teaching. And then if you have the mindful eye and the Lord gave that to you, you'll know who's false and who's correct. So, hey, with that being said, shalom.